Hello, my name is Rachel, and I'm 32 years old. I've been married to my husband, Adam, for 6 years, and we live in Denver, Colorado. We're a middle-class couple, but I've always been careful with money and smart about saving. That's why, when Adam's family suggested a luxury vacation, I decided to use my hard-earned savings to make it happen for everyone. It was my way of showing appreciation to his family, even though our relationship hasn't always been smooth. Adam's family consists of his mother, Linda, and his younger sister, Vanessa. Linda is in her late 50s and loves to be in control of everything. Vanessa, at 27, is married and has a reputation for being spoiled and self-centered. Despite their flaws, I wanted to include them in something special. I didn't tell anyone I was paying for the trip because I didn't want to make it about me. I wanted everyone to enjoy the experience. The morning of our trip, we gathered at Linda's house. Everyone was excited, chatting about the places we would visit. I was quietly checking my bags, feeling proud of how I had managed to organize everything without anyone knowing the effort it took. That's when Vanessa decided to ruin the mood. "Are you sure Rachel should come along?" Vanessa asked loudly, smirking as she glanced at me. This is a luxury trip, after all. Poor people usually don't belong on these kinds of vacations. I froze, my face burning with embarrassment. Adam was about to say something, but Linda chimed in before he could. "Vanessa, behave." "But honestly, Rachel, Vanessa has a point. Are you sure you'll be comfortable with the kind of expenses this trip requires?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I had been so thoughtful and generous, and here they were, belittling me in front of everyone. Adam tried to defend me, but Vanessa just shrugged and walked off laughing. That moment hurt me deeply. I thought about all the hours I'd worked, the sacrifices I'd made to save for this trip, and how I wanted to give them something unforgettable. Instead of gratitude, I got humiliation. I kept quiet, swallowing my pride, but inside, I was furious. As everyone got ready to leave, I pulled Adam aside and told him what I had done. "Adam, I need to tell you something," I whispered. "I paid for this entire trip, the flights, the hotels, everything. And after what just happened, I don't think I can let them go on this vacation." Adam's eyes widened in shock. "You're serious, Rachel? You didn't have to do that. But honestly, I understand why you feel this way." With Adam's support, I made a bold decision. I canceled Vanessa's and Linda's tickets. I didn't say a word to them. I wanted them to learn a lesson, to realize how much they had taken me for granted. I knew this choice would cause a storm, but at that moment, I didn't care. I was done being disrespected. The next morning, Adam and I headed to the airport early. Vanessa and Linda had planned to meet us there, completely unaware of what I had done. As we waited near the check-in counter, I couldn't help but feel a mix of nerves and satisfaction. Adam looked at me, concern in his eyes. "Are you sure about this, Rachel? They're going to be furious." "I'm sure," I replied firmly. "They've treated me like an outsider for too long. Maybe this will make them realize how much I've done for them." Just as I finished speaking, Vanessa and Linda arrived. Vanessa was dressed in head-to-toe designer clothing, her sunglasses perched on her head like a crown. Linda followed closely behind, her usual air of authority intact. They waved at us, oblivious to the surprise waiting for them. "Rachel, you look decent," Vanessa said with a fake smile, her tone dripping with sarcasm. "Ready to see how the other half lives?" I ignored her comment and waited for the moment to unfold. At the check-in counter, the airline staff began scanning our tickets. Adam and I went first, and our boarding passes printed without issue. Then it was Vanessa's turn. "I'm sorry, ma'am," the attendant said, frowning at the computer screen. "It seems your ticket has been canceled." Vanessa blinked, clearly confused. "What do you mean, canceled? That's impossible." Linda stepped forward, her tone sharp. "There must be a mistake. Check again." The attendant shook her head. "I'm afraid there's no mistake. The tickets for Vanessa and Linda were canceled yesterday." "What?" Linda's voice rose in anger. "Who would do that?" I took a deep breath and stepped forward. "I canceled them." Vanessa and Linda turned to me, their faces a mix of shock and fury. "You did what?" Linda spat. Why would you do something so ridiculous? Because I'm the one who paid for this entire trip, I said, my voice steady but firm. The flights, the hotels, everything. And after the way you treated me yesterday, I decided I didn't want to spend my hard-earned money on people who clearly don't respect me. Vanessa's jaw dropped. You're lying. There's no way you could afford all this. Adam jumped in. She's not lying, Vanessa. Rachel saved for months to make this happen, and you had the audacity to mock her. Linda looked at me, her face pale with embarrassment. You should have told us. How could you cancel our tickets without saying anything? I stared at her unflinching. Would it have made a difference? You've never cared about what I contribute, Linda. This trip was supposed to bring us closer as a family, but instead, you made it clear I'm not good enough for you. So no, I didn't feel the need to consult you. The confrontation caused a scene at the airport. Other passengers glanced at us, whispering among themselves. Vanessa was fuming, but Linda's anger quickly turned into an awkward silence. I can't believe this, Vanessa muttered. You've ruined everything. No, I said, my voice calm. I finally stood up for myself. There's a difference. Adam and I boarded the plane, leaving them behind. As we settled into our seats, I felt a strange mix of guilt and relief. Adam squeezed my hand. You did the right thing, Rachel. When we arrived at our destination, we received countless angry texts from Linda and Vanessa. They accused me of being selfish and ruining their plans. I didn't reply. Instead, I blocked their numbers for the duration of the trip. Adam and I spent the next week exploring, relaxing, and enjoying the vacation without the weight of their negativity. For the first time, I felt like I could truly breathe. When we returned home, I learned from a mutual family friend that Vanessa and Linda had tried to book new tickets after the confrontation, but couldn't afford the costs. It turned out they had been struggling financially for months and had expected Adam and me to cover their expenses during the trip. This new information confirmed what I had always suspected. They had been taking advantage of my kindness all along. From that day forward, I decided to set boundaries. I wasn't going to let anyone walk over me again, no matter who they were. The fallout, after we returned home, things took an unexpected turn. Linda and Vanessa weren't content with letting the matter drop. Instead, they escalated the situation by spreading false rumors about me to extended family members. Suddenly, I was receiving cold shoulders and disapproving looks from people I had once considered friendly. They're telling everyone you're selfish and ungrateful, Adam said, reading a message from his cousin. They're making it sound like you canceled the trip out of spite. I sighed, frustrated but not surprised. Of course, they're twisting the story. They'll never admit what really happened. Determined to clear my name, I started digging for proof of how much I had done for the family. While looking through receipts and messages, I stumbled upon something shocking. A group chat between Linda and Vanessa. In it, they had been planning to manipulate me into paying for more luxury items during the trip. Don't worry, Vanessa had written. Rachel's so desperate for approval, she'll foot the bill for anything we ask. I showed the messages to Adam, who was furious. They've been using you this whole time. This discovery gave me the evidence I needed to confront them publicly, exposing the truth. The following weekend, there was a family gathering at Adam's uncle's house. Knowing Linda and Vanessa would be there, I decided it was time to expose the truth. With Adam by my side, I calmly addressed the family. I know some of you think I'm selfish because I canceled Linda and Vanessa's tickets, I began. But what you don't know is that I paid for the entire trip and they didn't contribute a single dollar. Gasps rippled through the room. Vanessa tried to interrupt, but I held up my hand. I also found these messages, I continued, pulling out printouts of their group chat. This is proof that they plan to take advantage of me. Linda and Vanessa turned pale as I read the incriminating messages aloud. By the time I finished, the room was dead silent. The fallout was immediate. Family members who had sided with Linda and Vanessa began apologizing to me, expressing their shock and disappointment in their behavior. Vanessa stormed out of the room, followed by Linda, who couldn't even look me in the eye. But the surprises didn't stop there. Adam's uncle, who had always seemed indifferent, pulled me aside after the confrontation. "I've always thought you were too good for them," he said. "If you ever need help setting boundaries, let me know." A few weeks later, karma struck. Vanessa and her husband faced financial difficulties after a business deal went wrong, leaving them unable to maintain their lavish lifestyle. Linda, who had been relying on Vanessa for support, was forced to downsize her home and move in with Vanessa temporarily. Meanwhile, Adam and I flourished. With the negativity out of our lives, we focused on strengthening our relationship and planning for our future. I even started a vlog about budgeting and standing up for yourself, which quickly gained a following. The experience taught me a valuable lesson about self-respect and boundaries. I no longer felt the need to seek approval from people who didn't value me. As for Linda and Vanessa, they tried to reach out a few times, but I made it clear that our relationship would only continue if they changed their ways. For now, I'm content keeping my distance and focusing on the people who truly appreciate me. Looking back, I'm proud that I stood up for myself. It wasn't easy to face the backlash and deal with the drama, but it was worth it. That trip became more than just a vacation, it was a turning point in my life. It taught me to value my own efforts, set firm boundaries, and never let anyone take my kindness for granted. Sometimes, the hardest thing to do is say enough, but it's also the most empowering. I've learned that self-respect isn't just about demanding better treatment. It's about walking away from people who refuse to give it. For anyone out there dealing with difficult family dynamics, remember this: you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. Don't let anyone dim your light. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. I'd love to hear your thoughts or similar experiences. Share them below. Until next time, take care and stand tall. Glowing star.